We start in Afghanistan. The United States has carried out a drone strike against an Islamic State planner in the country's east, a day after an attack outside Kabul's airport killed 170 people, including 13 U.S. soldiers. For more on that, let's cross live to our correspondent Zamaralai Abbasi in Kabul. Zamaralai, tell us more about the U.S. military operation.
Hello and good morning, Pen. The situation regarding to the airstrike by the U.S. drones is reported, and I've been talking with the locals, yet the exact spot that they have hit is not clear, and if they are the affiliated of Kabul airport twin blast or not, it's not yet clear. But there is a report of the target of a drone, and drones were flying over the sky of eastern Nangarhar province and probably closer to Achin district, and yet we need to confirm. And that comes in a situation when 170 people died in a deadly attack in Kabul Thursday evening, and also more than 150 injured. Still, dozens of them have very critical situation. So the Daesh is another threat, and when Taliban captured Kabul police hierarchy prison, they executed 9 Daesh members, and also in some prison it's reported that many were released without identifying. Again, it's a challenging spot, and how the US have been able to operate their drones, it's also uncertain.
As a Zamaralai, let's talk a little bit more about the hotspot, Kabul airport. Looks like the situation is quite confusing for outsiders like us. First, some reports are saying that evacuations continue and is underway right now. But some other reports are also saying that several blasts were heard or seen in and outside the airport, reportedly to be US troops detonating their own equipment. Can you verify this?
No, there is no such thing of any incident since Thursday, but the Taliban have entered to Kabul airport. The Taliban special forces, which they call it Victorious Force, are now located in 3 military spots of Kabul airport, and the Americans evacuated, and they are located just in one part, and the evacuation process have been continuing. It's now only US who has been doing evacuation process, while there are a lot of problems. People cannot reach the area, even though they said they hold visas and they're eligible to go there. Yet many people erupted again to Kabul airport, and there is an alarming situation by US State Department that potential more similar attacks to Thursday attacks are on the way. That's why the people who want to flee should evacuate the area and just stay home.
And Zamaralai, let's talk a little bit more about livelihood in Afghanistan right now. The World Health Organization says medical supplies are running out in Afghanistan. How bad is this situation? And let's remember, COVID is still around.
Well, pending, Afghanistan is aid-related, medicine-related, medication-related, and related to foreign and neighboring countries in every aspect. When it comes to medicine, yes, it's been reported, not from now, for more than 1.5 months. It's a serious need, and hundreds of those companies from India, Pakistan, Iran are now not operating. I was just talking with one of the suppliers, and they said they are just sitting in their offices. They have nothing to do because the hospitals and also those who sell medicine have no money, and say the banks are closed. That's why they cannot buy, and the company is not borrowing this. So this is the current situation, particularly those who have flew from provinces and displaced families are lacking medicine immediately, but available in many medical hospitals and everywhere, the pharmacies. But the problem is many people who are in urgent needs, particularly those expensive medicines, they cannot now buy this, and that's the recent situation.
Thank you very much and take care. Our correspondent is Marilai Abbasing in Kabul. Our correspondent Perwez Karokal also interviewed an Afghan who said he had legal documents and has been trying his luck for days at Kabul airport, and a relative of one of the injured persons from Thursday's attacks.
But I've been not able to hand over my documents. I request the authority to provide facilities for those who had the legal documents to visit the relevant embassies in Kabul. As you see, the Taliban also could be seen around us. And yesterday, there were deadly attacks on the Kabul airport.
A grandson of mine was going to the Kabul airport from the past 3 to 4 days, but he was one of the 26th August incident that occurred at the Kabul airport. He is currently at the Kabul Emergency Hospital. I didn't see him so far.
The Pentagon says it's on alert for more possible attacks in the coming days as evacuations are set to conclude. Apart from Thursday's suicide bombing at Kabul airport, the ISIS-K is believed to be behind dozens of deadly attacks over the past years. It formed in 2015, but in recent years has decreased in size and capability under US and Afghan military pressure. Jim Spellman has more.
The chaotic U.S. withdrawal could allow the group to gain strength. Some members were released from prison as the Taliban swept into power. ISIS-K are said to be despised by the Taliban.
For a number of reasons. Those range from ideological to political to military. ISIS believes that only God can rule. And even though the Taliban is attempting to establish an Islamic emirate, that's not enough for ISIS. They want to attract and recruit the most ardent sociopaths in the country. And their calling card is this, rapacious and wanton violence against anyone that stands in their way. That actually helps them bring in other fighters into the organization that have a similar mindset.
The UN estimates there are about 8,000 to 10,000 foreign fighters in the country. Some terrorism experts say a resurgent ISIS-K in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan could draw even more fighters from around the world.
This will be tremendously energizing for any kind of jihadi-minded person around the world. Some will go travel there to join the great victorious holy warriors, and some will just radicalize at their computers.
ISIS-K presents a major challenge for the Taliban, who are now responsible for security around the country.
If they want to be politically legitimate in the eyes of the international community, then harbouring terrorism is not going to add to that legitimacy.
Raising the possibility of further U.S. military involvement in Afghanistan.
We're going to have to go back in. I understand that we're trying to get our troops out of there, but the bottom line is we can leave a battlefield, but we can't leave the war on terrorism, which still is a threat to our security.
ISIS-K is not thought to have launched terrorist attacks outside Afghanistan, but the U.S. fears that could change if the group is allowed to take root and grow. Jim Spellman, CGTN, Bethesda, Maryland.
The UN and many countries have expressed the shock and condemned the Kabul airport attacks, urging all parties to help ensure people's safety.
This was a hideous assault on desperate civilians, and we hope those responsible are caught and brought to justice as soon as possible.
China is shocked to see the heavy casualties caused by the explosion near Kabul airport. We strongly condemn the attacks. This incident shows that Afghanistan's security situation is still complicated and severe. We hope all parties will take the effective measures to ensure a smooth transition and ensure the safety of Afghan citizens and foreigners.
We strongly condemn this terrorist attack. We have seen reports of many casualties. Unfortunately, the incident confirms the early prediction that extremist groups in Afghanistan are taking advantage of the chaotic situation there. Everyone in the country faces considerable risks. Russia is concerned about the situation in Afghanistan.